Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We want to have a look at another problem for Math and 6. How to solve a problem by computing the square since it's a quadratic. The starting point is always to go to page number 4 and copy and try to pick possible formulas that will take us out of this problem. So here we're integrating the square root of a quadratic, so our formulas must be a match. So my first formula is the integral of the square root of a squared minus b squared x squared. You see it looks like a match for a formula for the equation, which gives me a square of 2b, the sine of bx over a plus x over 2, the square root of a squared minus b squared x squared plus c. So we've got that formula on page 4 of the Math and 6 formula sheet. Then another one is the integral of the square root of x squared plus or minus b squared dx, which is equal to x on 2, the square root of x squared plus or minus b squared, then plus or minus b squared over 2, the ln, this is a 2, the ln of x plus the square root of x squared plus or minus b squared, then plus. So those are the two options. After completing the square, we have to settle for one of them, depending on how this one will reduce to two terms. If it resembles this, then it's fine. If it is that, then we'll go further. Don't forget again, this formula is 2 in 1, because you can write this formula only with the positive signs or with the negative signs. So let's now go on to complete the square. So we've got 3x squared minus x plus 1, which is an expression because it's not equal to anything. To complete the square of an expression, step number 1 is to take out the coefficient of x squared, which is 3, as a common factor from every term. So we're going to do just that. So if we write down 3, we open a square bracket, then we use the first term divided by 3, will give us x squared. The second term, negative x, we divide by 3, will give us negative 1 over 3x. Then we take 1 divided by 3, it gives us 1 over 3. So that's our story. Then we have to complete the square of the item in the square bracket. So we'll get our 3 again. When we complete the square, that's the quadratic item, and the linear item will be written exactly the same. Then we'll take half the coefficient of x. So a half of negative 1 over 3, you can see the coefficient of x is negative 1 over 3, will give us negative 1 over 6. So you have to add the square of that number and you subtract the square of the same number, since taking this item, subtracting itself means you like added nothing. Then plus 1 over 3, which is the constant. Then you see your complete square, which is the made up of the first 3 items in the square bracket. And then this complete square, we only focus on the 2 carrying the squares. So if I take down those 2, so this is equal to, if I take down x, and I also take down negative 1 over 6, I put a square on them, so that gives me my complete square, which takes the place of the first 3 items. Then whatever is left, we just check with my calculator what does that mean. So what is left is it starts from this negative sign, then if you square negative 1 over 6, it gives you 1 over 36, so I have 1 over 3 minus 1 over 36. So I'm taking 1 on 3 on my calculator minus 1 on 36. That takes me to 11 on 36, positive this time. So we'll get positive 11 on 36, and I'll close my bracket. So I'll just transfer it out here again for us to see properly. So we get 3 into x minus 1 over 6, or the square plus 11 over 36. Before we now go to that step that will help us select a formula. So looking at the problem, you see that if I were to open my bracket, when I open my bracket, the 3 is positive, so it has the right to stay square, you can get in there. Then if you multiply there, you get plus 11 over 12. So I'll now try to compare this to what I'm seeing to see which formula I settle for. So if I try to compare it to the first formula, it's giving me a headache, a challenge, because you see the sign is positive, here is negative. Then another issue is that even if I try to interchange so that A comes first, the problem is the positive sign is not matching. So you don't have to force if it is not matching, because if you rearrange and bring 11 over 12 in front, it will be okay with your A square, but it must be followed by a negative sign, but we have a positive, so it's rejecting the first one. Then, with the second, the problem with the second is you can only use the second formula if the quotient of x squared is 1. But here, it's a 3. So, if this was a 1, it would be a perfect match for the second one. So, it looks like there is no formula that is working, but that is not true, because if we can ignore this part and then concentrate on that one and leave out the 3 out, you see that what is inside the square bracket is a perfect match for the second formula. So this kind of a problem, you need to be a little bit smart to see that if you open your bracket and it's not picking any of the two, then just try to study the quotient inside the square bracket. So if I study the quotient inside the square bracket, it can help me out. So with this portion in the square bracket, it's helping us pick that formula where we'll be matching our x minus 1 over 6 to be the quotient of x squared. Then your b squared will be 11 over 36. So I'm saying if b squared is 11 over 36, this would therefore mean that b will be the square root of 11 over 36. So that is what we do, so that we can substitute in there. So now, if we take our time and copy down the formulas I've been doing, I'm having the square root of x squared plus or negative. So now I will no longer use plus or negative, because now my work here goes with a positive sign, which means the negative sign is completely eliminated. Everywhere there is plus negative. So I will just put positive sign plus b squared dx, which is equal to x on 2, the square root of x squared plus b squared plus, so there is again plus negative there, I will ignore the negative, I take my b squared over 2, the lim of x plus the square root of x squared plus b squared plus c. So this is the formula I'm going to use, but don't forget this formula is only capturing what is inside the square bracket. Also don't forget the whole problem has got a square root. So if I were to put a square root over this, then it will therefore mean that the square, there will be a square root over 3 and a square root over that, and it will go out as 1/3. So that's how you manage this kind of a problem. So if I'm not transferring into all these items into my formula, I'll have to start out with a root 3 before I take my square root, because I must account for this 3 here. And since the original problem has a square root, if I put a square root over this, there will be a square root over 3 and a square root over this, and it is only this portion that goes with the formula. So I'll have to put a root 3 out. Then in here, I'll put the square root of, I will place x by x minus 1 over 6 square. Then plus, I will place b squared by 11 over 36. So that will be my left hand side. Then on the right, I must also account for the root 3. You see there's a root 3 out. It must also affect these two terms. So it's like I'm going to multiply this term by 3 and that term by 3. So if I go on the right, before I write my x, I'll put a 3 there first. Then in the place of x, I'm putting x minus 1 over 6. It's divided by 2. Then the square root of x is x minus 1 over 6 square. Then my b square is 11 over 36. Then plus, again, as I've multiplied the left by 3 on the right, this time there are 2 items. The first by 3, the second by 3. So if I go to the first, I'll put my 3 there. Then my b square is 11 over 36. Then divided by 2. Before before now I go to the lean. Maybe I will bring that term on because I'm seeing we are running short of space. If we go horizontal, so this will be plus. As I was saying, I've multiplied the first term by 3, I must multiply the second term by 3, since it is appearing there. So my b squared will be multiplied by 3 first. And b squared is 11 and 36. You have to divide it by 2 before you take now the ln of x. X will be x minus 1 over 6. Everywhere there is x, then plus the square root of x, which is x minus 1 over 6, all that square. B squared is 11 and 36. So guys, this is how you handle this type of problem. So you can see the challenges you have for this formula. So to make life easy, for this formula they will have to give you without making sure the equation of x squared is a 1. If it is a 1, it's a perfect match for the formula, because as you came here, if this was a 1, you open the bracket, nothing will change, and this will just be a 1, it will match the formula. But if it's not a 1, then you must know how to account for that number there. So I know this one was a bit tough, but with practice, guys, you will get it right. Thank you very much.